6-1.
It didn't go through. Yes.
Yeah, both huh? Yeah.
How did you go to the command? What? Okay, here. Oh, that's, it's on the agenda. Well, we most of the community, we deal with first things that. Okay.
We're able to get it. What's going to be worse? I think so.
Me too, like this. Brandon, you need a chair. I did make this your chair.
Okay.
How you doing? Okay.
How are you?
All right.
Chris Councilman Smith.
He's not here.
You get that sweet.
They feel that they're ready. Okay.
Yeah, I was, I don't want to be the bad guy. Yeah, I mean, I was always negative. The baby was positive.
Oh, you were negative.
Is she okay? Yeah, she okay. Yeah, she's fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get started. We're trying to get some more chairs, but it's 6:38, so we're gonna get started. Madam Clerk, the regular council meeting for Tuesday, August 23rd is called to order. Okay?
Councilor Columbia? Present. Councilor Gowdy? Present. Councilor Stevenson? Present. Councilor Smith?
Present.
Councilor Martin?
Present. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, remarks to the public on agenda item, 2 minutes. Agenda items only, okay? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? Come on up. You got 2 minutes to speak on the agenda item. I think one of your things only, is it not, Mr. McCoy? Right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Madam Clerk, we'll just move on.
Any members of the public council that would like to speak? Seeing none? We have a presentation.
Yeah, from
Pro
Pro.
Champ.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm going to do a share screen.
And
Switch it over.
Mr. Lutz, announce yourself so everybody know who you are.
Hello, residents. My name is Danny Lutz. We're a government solution provider. We provide registration programs for local communities. I'm here to talk to you guys about that today, about the foreclosures and Franklin. It won't directly affect residents, but more items for council and promotes thriving industry. So I'll go over some of the highlights. You guys have any questions or council?
Could you please repeat your name? You were facing that
my
way.
name is
No,
Danny
could you
Lutz.
please turn this way and repeat your name? Thank you.
Danny Lutz.
Danny?
Yes, it's L-U-T.
L-U-T-Z. Thank you very much.
And I have the Zoom set up to share my slide deck with those on. Right next to Mr. Shabazz. Okay, so my name is Danny Lewis from ProChamps. What we're going to discuss today is foreclosure registration program that we run in over 280 local communities. So NFL size to the size of East Cleveland. Go through some of the highlights of that. So like I said, we run this registration program and other programs with over 280 local community partners. Like to continue that with East Cleveland. Means thousands of risks mitigated. And we have,
280.
so we have thousands of risks mitigated in local communities because of the program that you're going to see here today. So what we do is we're all about a cohesive working relationship with each community. We work with the community to foster an ordinance that would make it compulsory for anyone who files a foreclosure, not your taxpayer base, but the entity that files foreclosure, they would be responsible for registering that property with the city. So along with that registration would come a monetary amount for registration that we then collect. So how it works with communities is that we work with you to foster that ordinance to pass through council. Then we go looking for those responsible parties, that's what we call them, to get them to register. So we have about an 85 to 90% compliance rate on that. And right now, I think East Cleveland's sitting at about 225 active foreclosures right now. That number may go up high. I think you guys are at like 330 pre-pandemic, with the moratoriums expiring and, some provision, we expect that number to go up. It has gone up. In some communities, we've seen 100, 200% increases in their community. So this really gives you a preventative measure to forego some of the blight and other issues. The thing we don't talk about a lot is it also gives the ability to generate funds back. And I'll show you with a case study. In the city of Jacksonville, they use those funds to foster lending education programs. We don't tell communities what to do with the funds generated. You can put that in your general fund. You can use it to aid community development or whatever you want to do with that.
Excuse me, which
yes.
Jacksonville is that?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Thank you.
So Jacksonville, Florida is one of our largest partners. Like I said, we partner with NFL-sized cities to, cities smaller than these. So we work with a variety of different local governments. There's no cookie cutter approach for anything that we do. And the way the fee sharing model works is if City of East Cleveland sets the registration amount. If you set it at $600, we then collect that $600 to remit everything back to mine except our admin fee, which is $125. So it has a potential. This program is set at a semi-annual registration, has the potential to generate. We don't like the estimated, but with the 85 to 90% compliance, about $150,000 of funds generated back to the community. So there's no startup costs for this program. You don't have to dedicate any resources for this program, and we go working for the registration. So it's really a cohesive relationship where we're not succeeding with the program for you. It doesn't benefit us. So it's really tied to the program. So here are some of the data points that we do use. So I don't want to go over too much of this, but we do use a variety of data points, local records, and some third-party records to make sure that we have the most correct information on your foreclosures, and make sure that we're not going after entities that they're out of foreclosure. Make sure it's in the right time. After an ordinance is passed, we then go through about 30 days. After 30 days, the ordinance is passed is when we start, identifying those responsible parties. There's a lot of ancillary information that I can't go over today, but I will send some information to council, to the mayor as well. Ancillary information that we collect on the back end is really critical to some departments, because when that house is in foreclosure, you have to think about it's not just in foreclosure with the occupant, unfortunately, but the bank has a property preservation company, an asset management company, and sometimes another party that the community is not aware of. So we provide that data in a portal that we have, and anyone can have access to that. When I say that, it's critical for some communities use that off-label for fire, EMS. If there's something that happens, they know who they can contact, not just the occupant of that house. Because if they're no longer the occupant and the house is vacant, well, now you have a direct communication line to property preservation company, an asset management company, not just to the bank. And I'm sure some of you have worked with lenders and know how their departments can get very widespread. It's hard to get a direct line of communication. So another byproduct of our registration is that you have all that information at your fingertips as well. So like I said, it's totally a mutual relationship where if we're not succeeding for you guys, then there's no incentive for us. So our incentive is to make sure the program is running as optimal as possible. Like I said, no startup costs. There's no maintenance. You guys don't have to invest in technology. You bring all that technology. And a lot of communities, honestly, adopt this program and just have it sit on autopilot, and the registrations come in, and then making sure that they're being preventative on those foreclosures before they become vacant properties. Maybe 20% use the data that we collect as well for those ancillary departments. So it's really up to you. You don't tell communities to use the data or not, or what to do with the funds generated. So it's really at the discretion. And like I said before, there is a technology piece of this as well that you can use as much as you want or not. So this is just an example of our heat map for the city of East Cleveland. I pulled it up. There's an interactive map in there. If I had more time, I would go through where we house the data and how code or fire or EMS can use that, where that's housed. I could do it on a subsequent demonstration or send it to you all in a packet in an email. So, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah. I'm open to questions. Any council, Councilwoman Patricia Bloviak.
Yes.
Is this only properties that are going into foreclosure now, or is this retroactive and include the properties that have been foreclosed in the past?
Yeah, so anything in the foreclosure status, if the deed has not been transferred, we will pick that up on our time. So if it started the foreclosure process a year ago, we'll pick up that foreclosure unless it's been moved out of foreclosure. We won't track it or go for responsible party registration.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the council? Any questions from the council?
So you said, first of all, thank you for coming. You said no startup costs and no maintenance costs?
No maintenance costs. We ask communities to sign a 2-year agreement that's, negotiable as well. And we really recommend the semi-annual. It's not about generating the funds necessarily, but it gives us a better grasp of, what is going on with that property. I'm sure some of you know that, banks sell loans to servicers. They change hands very quickly. So we have, it's in our interest to go after that information as often as possible. Doing the semi-annual registration helps us do that.
Thank you.
So you said a 2-year agreement with the city?
Yeah, so it's every 6 months that lender would be required to register. We have communities that do just annual, and then setting the amount is up to the community as well. We recommend $500 or less. If the idea is just to foster compliance with these lenders, then you may want to charge $200. If you want to really put some teeth into it, you can raise it. We have communities that have it at $1,000, and then late penalties. We've seen some communities adopt ordinances $3,000 from $3,000 to $1,000. And when a lender sees that, they're more apt to pay that registration for the 30 days rather than incur that late charge. So we have one community in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, that has 100% compliance because their late penalty is so steep. So it is effective. It does get the notice of those lenders. Hey, I have to register, and if I don't, there's going to be a stiff penalty for it. Now, not all communities do that. We don't say to do that or not to. That's again at discretion of the community.
Any other question from the council? I'm not supposed to accept questions from the audience at this part of the meeting, but I see this one lady, she keeps raising her hand, and if it's all right with the council. Okay, yes, stand up, young. Please stand up, please. Thank you.
Do you have clients in the state of Ohio?
Yes.
And clients that are in communities that are the size of this community?
Yes. To answer your question, yes.
And they are?
We have Coleraine Township, Springfield Township. We just started in Ohio, so Ohio is a new territory for us. As far as the size of East Cleveland, we have very similar sized communities in New Jersey, New York, Florida, and some other states. And so we see communities the same size as East Cleveland with the same needs, some of the same needs, like you said. There's no cookie cutter approach. We approach every community differently. So. Yep.
Okay, Danny Omaze.
Yes, I have kind of fathom what you're saying. And are you saying that you want to direct taxes?
No. So anyone going through foreclosure, we've seen communities adopt their own foreclosure registration programs. And what they do is they go to the occupant and say, you're under foreclosure, you have to pay this registration. That's not what we do. And it's written in the ordinance, the language is written that whoever the plaintiff on the foreclosure filing is, and 99% of the time that's going to be, your lender, the banks. We make it obligatory. That language in the legislation, it's obligatory that they register, not the taxpayer base, not the occupants. So just want to make that distinction.
I know that federal government said something in the renters and what have you.
Right.
And they could have a moratorium on foreclosure.
Right.
So,
Yeah, a lot of those moratoriums nationwide are expiring, and what you're seeing as a result of that is unfortunately increased foreclosures. This program, gives a little bit more control back to the community and helps you guys keep a bottle on it as much as you can. I worked on the lender side for 15 years, and I've actually worked with people in foreclosure, and I've seen how devastating it is. A lot of times banks ask them to sign a deed in lieu instead of going to those types of things. It is a devastating process for not just that occupant or that borrower, but for the community as well, because a lot of times what happens with those foreclosures, they become vacant properties, and if the property gets dilapidated or has light, some of those percentage of those houses become vacant for a long time. It becomes a community problem where you have a bunch of vacant properties, and then you have to raise funds to bulldoze those properties and sell those bonds off. So this program really, it's one of the tools that gives the community the ability to be a little preventative.
my last,
Yes.
I'm trying to fathom as to how it's going to affect the city, or is it going to create more problems for homeowners? What have you in the
Yeah,
city?
no. Yeah, our program doesn't create any issues for homeowners. And what it does is through fostering the compliance and generating funds back to the community, it can aid the community on providing education. Some cities use that to, if you've been through foreclosure, educate you on, maybe some of the missteps that the lender did or that you did as a borrower that could, really educate you on making, those type of things. Like I said, we don't tell the community how to allocate those funds, how to do that. But what we see is communities using the funds generated from registration to educate the community or go into a general fund or go somewhere else where the city sees it best, where it's best needed.
Okay, this will be the last question from the public. Okay.
Yeah, so the fee sharing model is that if we collect $600, well, let's say hypothetically, the city of East Cleveland adopts this, and they set the registration fee at $600. We collect that $600 and we get back $475 back.
What are those fees based on flat slide rate, property value?
No, it's just flat rate.
Thank you. Now, why don't we, I know you don't have cards for all these people, so some people didn't want to answer questions publicly. Give them your phone number so they can call you.
Yeah, I have some cards here. I'll give it.
Okay.
He said we would be setting the price of the fees.
I think he said no, 500, 600. I don't understand.
I want to thank the city of East Cleveland for the time for hearing us out. Is there anything else you guys want to ask or anything you want me to provide council or?
Oh, I just want you to, why don't you give them your number?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Say, speak real good, speak loud so they can get your number.
412 for anyone who wants.
Okay.
412. That's Pittsburgh.
Don't matter.
Okay.
419.
412-419.
6063.
6063.
Yeah, I have some cards here. I think I gave you some.
Yeah, I have one. Yeah. That's what's down. Thank you.
Mr. Les, would you be willing to come back several times, do several presentations for the benefit of the people, please?
Absolutely. Doing it in a lot of communities, it's not they're a long discussion.
Thank you.
It takes time to process.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
sir.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you can. Danny, thank you very much. Give him a round of applause, please. Okay. Robert Thomas? Okay. Mayor, once you get her seat, you're up next. Remark to the mayor. Yes,
So the next one was carried through. All the minutes.
we're going, yeah,
They're all going to be, we discussed the, changes that need to be made from Councilor Mahovia. They were made, but we're waiting for the other councilors, amendments to these minutes. So they're all going to be moved, will be moved to the next agenda, in September. So once we get those changes, hopefully they will appear on the next, September, 5th agenda to be approved. So we did incorporate the changes from Councilor Mahovia. We're just waiting for more changes.
okay.
So now we will move to reports.
I want to thank those that made the changes, and we got another week. If there's any more changes, get them to Tracy, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, remark from the mayor, Mayor Brandon King, the Honorable Mayor. Thank you. Okay.
Good afternoon. These people are trying to make this brief. Welcome. Thank all of you for coming out tonight and in a couple of weeks in the making. Historic night for the city of East Cleveland. A lot of good stuff on the agenda. A lot of stuff that will help move the city forward. Much needed legislation for this city at this critical time. Just like to make a quick note, the blue lights above you are UVC. They are cooling the air as it circulates through here, trying to give you a higher level of comfort as we are in close quarters. And as I do always remind you to check the County Board of Health and the state CDC for updates on the coronavirus, its new variants, now with the monkeypox virus, and keep encouraging residents of East Cleveland and loved ones who we know and love to get vaccinated and boosted. As I said, there's a lot of great legislation, a lot of historic legislation. I think one that has been talked about in quarters that I've been in over the last 2 weeks might be a sleeper on here. And I just want to make a note of it. And that is the legislation for Black on Black crime. As the city of Cleveland looks to come out of the consent decree, some of the things that have been discussed is forming partnerships, relationships, bringing in experts to help bridge the gap, community policing between the police and the community, so that when instances arrive, whether it's gangs, domestic violence, any disturbances, someone without a gun shows up to help alleviate that. This legislation puts us there, puts us ahead of it already. We were already thinking along those lines, right? We know the work that Black on Black, and in particular, Art McCord has done and what he means to this community. We also have the legislation for the county land bank, the metro parks. Last week, Brian Zimmerman, who's the executive director out there, he was a guest speaker at the City Club. He talked about his work around the county and some of the parks that he's done, whether it's Euclid, VA, Arcadia, and of course, Edgewater. He renewed his commitment to the revitalization and the restoration of our Forest Hill Park. And then there's the legal counsel that will bring in to help us navigate the coronavirus, more specifically the ARPA funds. I'd like to ask for your renewed patience while traveling the city. Many of you know we've had a lot of road restructuring, resurfacing going on over the past few months. You know, we do it when the weather's right. Third is done, Roxbury's done, Page, parts of Delmont, Brewster, underway is Superior and Ivanhoe. Please be patient when traveling up and down Superior Avenue. We are still anticipating Shaw to be done this year, and have great news. Thanks to our friends over at the county, particularly Executive Armin Budish and our county council rep, Cheryl Stevens, we were awarded the resurfacing of Woodward. That'll be coming at us next year. I talked a great deal about pothole killers coming. Pothole killers has come through the city, has done a number of streets. If you'd like a list, we can get you that list of streets that they've done. Our service department continues to patch potholes, and we continue to work with County Public Works to get some of that stuff done. Forgot to mention Forest Hills Avenue. That is also being resurfaced. We're working with the RTA to secure funds to fix the bus bands. We're also working with our consultants, OHM, to bring in Cook Construction. So a lot of times when we have pipes burst, whether it's public water, sewer, the contract that they have, they don't fix the entire road. They fix a part of it, and then the city has to put the final touch on. Cook Construction has been awarded from the city of Cleveland under contract to do that finishing work. Cook Construction is approved by the Ohio Department of Transportation. Not many companies are allowed to work on roads as such. We want to make mention that excited of the demolition that has taken place on Euclid and Woodlawn. This demolition we've been talking about for quite some time, clearing the way as the gateway to the city. Kicking off what we like to think of, we like to call a new development. I'd like to thank our partners over at the county. Joyce Roberts and Kamala are here. Briefly mention the homeowner grant program. I'd ask that you continue to be patient as we are still looking for contractors, still honing our skills and delivering this service to you. To date, we have completed 220 projects. We have completed projects anywhere from roof repair to new roofs, driveways, kitchens, bathrooms. If you have any questions or concerns with the homeowner grant, I have an HOG hotline. That number is 681-2105. Again, 681-2105. Please be patient as we work through this 1,000 residents, and know that your grant and your monies don't expire until December 31st, 2024. We will get it done by then. For those of you who travel around the city, I'd like to make mention of the Cleveland Institute of Art and a mural project as you come up Woodworth and 133rd. Saw them over the other day working on that. When they get it up, they will do some sort of a kickoff and an unveiling. We'll invite the residents out to see that. Just welcome to East Cleveland Art. Finally, I'd like to mention this. I've sent upstairs for some copies of this, and we can pass this out and put it on the back table. This is a utility assistance resource fair. You can see our partners on the bottom, the biggest partner being the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. It will be this Saturday at the Salvation Army. I would urge all of you to come out to hear the services that are available to you as residents in the city of East Cleveland and the discounts that you are entitled to, whether it's water, electric, gas, sewer. This Saturday, 9 a.m., 12 p.m. at the Salvation Army Utility Resource Fair. Please grab one of these flyers on your way out. Council President, that concludes my report unless there's any questions or concerns thereof.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. That sounds real good. Thank you. Madam Clerk, receipts and communications and petitions. Anything in that area?
The past 2 weeks, the clerk of council's office has received personally 2 sets of recall petitions. One for the office of mayor, the other one for the office of the Councilor Ward 3.
Okay. Any other communication, Madam Clerk? Okay. We're going to move to reports from council committees. Councilwoman Corinne Stevenson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Finance Committee meeting, the Finance Committee is scheduled to meet September 10th here in this room.
Okay. Councilwoman Patricia Boloviak.
General Services and Administration has had an attendance issue, and I'm going to ask that the other two members, Councilor Martin and Councilor Smith, come up with a date that they can attend so that we can end up with enough people to have a quorum. It's very frustrating when I come to have a committee meeting and I am the only counselor present. I have been trying since January to get a combination of the entire committee plus everyone who has to do with either fixing the water infrastructure or fixing the roads, either resurfacing or fixing the potholes. And I have not yet succeeded in having everyone present. I talked to the mayor about the bus pads last November, and we would have done better had we fixed the holes before the freeze-thaw cycle. However, that didn't happen, and we are still waiting for the status of all of them. There are approximately 56 bus pads, and many of them are in horrible shape. The other thing I wanted to do was to make sure we went to the areas that the city, that the Cleveland Water has identified as poor condition or very poor condition for the water infrastructure, so that we could fix those before we fix the street. But anyone who's driven down Euclid is aware that we have approximately half a dozen places where there have been water infrastructure problems, even though we just did the street 2 years ago. And so it's a mess. I've been talking about using ARPA funds. No one else seems to think that that's a worthy use of the funds. But I just received from our state representative, well, she's not our state representative yet, but because the districts have changed, Juanita Brent will presumably be our state representative starting in January. But she says that the state of Ohio has received $2 billion of ARPA funding to allocate to communities. And that's including investing in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. So it seems to me that this would be something that we could consider applying for, so that we can get all of the water infrastructure areas that are in bad shape fixed before we pave them, so that we don't have to pave them and then fix them and then pave them again. So we can request funding to House Finance Chair Olslager, Senate Finance Chair Dolan, or Giles Allen in the governor's office. And I will be sending this this just came in the mail, and I will be sending this to all of council, to administration, and to Keisha Chambers, who does our requests for grants, so that we can avoid having this continuing problem in that we fix something and then the water goes and then we have to dig up the street and fix it again. It's a waste of money, and it makes our streets much less passable. I'd also like to take this opportunity to apologize to everybody who doesn't have a seat. We used to have more seating in council, but they decided to remodel, and in that remodeling process, we lost a row of seats. And I'm actually disappointed that that was done that way. It certainly wasn't discussed with us in advance. But thank you everyone for coming, and that concludes the discussion from the General Service and Administration Committee.
Councilwoman Juanita Gowdy.
Contracts and properties meet in Ward 2 now. We are still talking about the land bank, how we is going to work with them in trying to get, from Lakeview all the way to Mondina or past Mondina together, was development. But, you know, Good Homes also had, there's something going on. And they actually is going to be doing some development. And when we meet of the residents need to know the prices of the house, is they going to be moved out, is they, you know, different concerns from different people. So when we had met, it was a good meeting, and I felt that it was a good meeting, but I still have residents still have questions. So they are here today, so we still want to see what we can do to solve this problem. And looking for Mickey's, you know, Mickey, you know, they have contracts. I mean, not so much of contracts, but they do have models of Mickey, how it's supposed to be looking, and, you know, in houses that they is going to develop in our community. So, I mean, it's a good thing to me because we need a new face in our city, but we still have questions with the residents. So I'm with the residents going to come down to the questions so we can dot every time, cross every T, so we be all on the same page. That's not.
Thank you, Ms. Gowdy. Ernest Smith.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I chair the Personnel and Appointments Committee. We last met on Tuesday, June 28th, right here in the council chambers. As we discussed, ordinance number 51-22, which is an ordinance to bring in a sufficient pool of officers and firefighters from different cities. This is what it was discussed again on June 28th. We tabled it, we kept it tabled for more discussion for the benefit of the people. The next meeting will be on Ms. Tracy, you wanted me to reschedule or? Okay. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna send out a date for the middle of September to the next personnel and appointments meeting, where we once again will be discussing as it relates to drawing from a pool of other eligible officers for both police and fire. We will send out the date, and I hope to see you all there. Also, Mr. President, if you don't mind, as a member of the General Services Committee, for the record, I just want to tell the people that members of council voted no as it relates to fixing the infrastructure of Euclid Avenue. Madam Clerk, please stop me if I'm wrong or if I'm fibbing to the people. Again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I chair health and safety, and I'm not going to get into a whole lot. We think we have a solid, strong police department, and we have a solid, strong fire department. What I'm excited about this evening is Black on Black. I've been in East Cleveland a long time. I've been on council for 30 years now. And this collaboration between Black on Black and the city and our police departments is moving in the right direction. Okay, Cleveland's going through situations where they have decrees and all like that. We have decided to work together. So I'm very bullish and hopeful that this passes and that this relationship is going to benefit everybody from a standpoint of safety. That concludes my health and safety report. Thank you. Madam Clerk, let's move to legislation.
Committee majority as stated in section 103.02 of the codified ordinance placed on 7/19/22 council agenda as first read, then moved to the 8/16/22 regular council agenda.
Okay, resolution 3322 bears your name, Dr. Patricia Blahoviak, what's your pleasure?
Well, as I said before, I've had issues with getting council members and issues with getting people from the administration to the meetings. And so therefore this has not been discussed in committee. And I suggested that it go back to committee. And I would like to say again, that until it is discussed, it should go back to committee.
I'm open for discussion. Any other council person want to say something about resolution 3322?
Mr. President, I would like to co-sponsor resolution number 33-22, please.
Okay, you need a second? Okay, second, yeah. You sponsor, you move for adoption?
No, I don't need a second to co-sponsor.
Okay, all right, so you want to co-sponsor it? Any discussion again on 3322? Okay. Yes, go ahead, Mayor. Right. So I need a motion to adopt 3322.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 33-22.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? It's been seconded. Madam Clerk, call the roll. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
This was supposed to, I thought we were in the process of looking at how we could move this into a different venue with regard to getting rid of these vehicles into an auction function versus a.
We can't hear you. I can't hear you. You maybe have to take that.
Maybe you need to turn up the speaker. But
right.
I thought that we were in the process of moving towards an auction situation for these cars versus a scrapping situation.
All right, Ms. Stevenson made her comments. So Juanita Gotti, you have a comment?
The auction is still on here, but that's the only thing that should be on.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilor Blahoviak?
Nay.
Councilor Stevenson?
Nay.
Councilor Gowdy?
Nay.
Saying nay or yay? Nay.
If that's the only thing, I'm just saying this. The reason why I'm saying nay, because it is supposed to be in the
Point of order.
She has the floor.
But you're out of. We are voting. You can't have discussion in the middle of a
right,
vote.
Right.
She is right. You can't have discussion.
So you voted nay. Okay, Mr. Smith.
She's right.
All right, she's right.
Yay. Yay. For me.
Okay. And yay for me.
It's
died. Does have a. It died. Let's move to the next. It did pass. Okay.
Ordinance number 3922, an ordinance to amend section 307.07 of the codified ordinances of the city of East Cleveland to allow for the auctioning of impounded motor vehicles that are unclaimed or abandoned.
Okay. 3922 bears your name. Dr. Patricia Blahoviak, what is your pleasure?
I would just like to say exactly what I said before.
Go ahead. You want to move it to committee?
I wanted to move to committee. We have not discussed this. We've had difficulty getting administration to be cooperative. We've had difficulty getting committee members to attend. I would like to move this to committee.
Okay. I'm going to open up for discussion before you do that. Is there any discussion from other council people on 3922?
Madam Clerk, Mr. President, I would like to co-sponsor ordinance number 3922. I also would like to say that I took a trip physically down to the impound lot. Some vehicles cannot be salvaged, sold, or anything like that. They just destroyed. Those are the vehicles that I believe that we should get rid of to make room for vehicles that we need room for. As far as auctioning vehicles, I believe that this is an excellent idea. I just say that. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion on 3922? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. I was gonna say something, but you go ahead.
Right, so thank you. So
Okay.
ordinance 3922 and ordinance 3322 allows the city to have options to dispose of vehicles. Right, I would encourage counselors to visit Tow Yard and to visit Eddie Road. Many of you will remember when the pandemic happened, they were giving out checks and sell cars went through the roof, right? People bought all these cars with the checks, then they couldn't fix them. We have tons of cars burn up in accidents that we simply need to dispose of. So you said auction, that was this one. Auction or sale, the one before that. It allows us flexibility that we need to dispose of these vehicles. It is what other municipalities do. Thank you.
Okay, I wanted to say I did take time to go down and check out the area. And what I observed was it's full of cars. Some are in pretty bad shape, but some are not. But what stood out to me was it was packed. Okay, and while I was there, cars were coming in. And I think there's an opportunity here for the city. I know we got different companies that tow these cars, but I'm hoping in the future that we do all of that to bring more revenue to the city. Okay, and I also think that we might be able to have the option to give more land for that. But those cars sitting there is, I think, it's just a waste. That's my opinion. So I've been down there a couple of times. I drive by all the time and just check it out. And it's packed with cars. Okay, so there's a process that has to be followed. I had a discussion with the law director and she kind of explained to me how it works. So I want the public to be aware of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So at the second read, can we just move this, let it be voted?
Well, we're going to have to vote on it. Okay, hold it 1 second. Let the public know this is a second read. Okay. All right. I'll recognize you, Gotti, and then push your Bohoviac.
Okay. By Council Bohoviac, Patricia got her name on it. Y'all have not been meeting up with her. That's what she keeps complaining about.
So we have met with her. It wasn't a formal meeting because she didn't have a quorum, but we met and had conversations and talked. We also set up a meeting last Thursday in which we were waiting for her to attend and she never showed up. Right. So we have met with her and we have attempted to meet with her.
Okay, so when you meet with her and attempt to meet with her, when y'all make a decision, then I will come on board with it because, like I said, she holds this chair. Yeah. And if she's not satisfied with what's going on, then we need to look further into what's going on myself. And I definitely need to go into the pound and see what's going on in there too, because if it's over full with cars and stuff, and you can't move it or whatever, I just need to find out more details. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not for it, but y'all need to have to talk.
Okay, so we're available to talk.
Well,
I'm not.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I need to say this. Because it seemed that we weren't meeting, the issue came up. So we had a meeting in your office 2 weeks ago, hour and a half, an hour and a half. Then we called another meeting, and for some reason, it never happened. So we're going to tell the truth about this situation. Now, we don't need to be holding back stuff that we can take over and the city would benefit from it. So ultimately, it all boils down to a vote. And what I've seen and what I observed was full of cars, and a lot of those cars need to get rid of them because we're bringing them all the time. So I ask you to use discretion on this legislation. We need to get some of those cars out of there. You know, I walked around, I was here about an hour, walking, going up and down the lanes and all that. So, and Sometimes we have meetings and sometimes things come up we don't meet, but we did meet an hour and a half about 2 weeks ago. And then we set another meeting up. I showed, and all the players showed. So it's two sides to the situation. Thank you. All right, let's, Madam Clerk. Yes, yeah, hold on 1 second. Yes, Ms. Gowdy.
And Council Martin, it's not that y'all, I mean, something came up. We just need to get to a decision of how she come by, you know, she's gonna say that she had a meeting with y'all. And she did talk with you and she don't feel like it's like that, but I still can make my decision on what y'all had a meeting about. And once I go and visit the pound, then I will make my decision, you know. But if y'all keep on having meetings and she's not here, then that's on her. You know,
right.
I think it's my turn to speak.
You're not recognized, Ms. Brobeck. You get your chance to talk.
To have a meeting with you and to make a decision, a correct decision of how, you know, this this her committee. This is her committee we're talking about. So I mean, she do have that right. To feel comfortable of saying what she's saying.
Put it back in committee.
Okay, I'm not going to waste any more time with this. We'll put it back in committee.
It's my turn to speak now.
Wait 1 second.
You have said that I would
wait
speak
1 second. You're going to have to wait. You know what? Your attitude and stuff is not accommodating. So wait 1 second, please. Okay. Now, you get to speak, but I'm suggesting since there seems to be, we can't reach agreement on this, that we put it back in committee. That's what I'm suggesting. That way we can move on. We don't keep talking about this. Okay? That's what you suggested. That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's put it in committee. Let's move on.
It's my turn to
Go
speak.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, for one thing, you're saying that we had a meeting 2 weeks ago. That meeting was scheduled as I was told that the mayor would like to speak to me because I was working on his recall. That was not a committee meeting. The other meeting that was scheduled was, there was supposed to be a meeting to discuss the questions I've had since January. However, the mayor changed the topic. The mayor changed the attendees. The meeting that I had asked for did not happen. And I said, this is not the meeting I asked for. This is not the topic I have been wanting to discuss since January. And so you're saying that I didn't come? No, I asked for a meeting and you changed it. So therefore, it wasn't the meeting that I requested.
Well, I'll say this. The meeting was upstairs. All of us was there. We called her. I called her. You called her. For some reason, you didn't pick up the phone. Usually you pick up the phone. The finance director, everybody was there. So, I mean, these little games I don't know. We're not making progress at it. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, here's what we're going. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. Since I've had a chance, and I've been down there 2 or 3 times to check the place out, I'm suggesting that the other council people check it out. We'll put this in committee, but September 5th is going to come back up for a vote. Okay. All right.
Then when you come to the committee meeting.
Yeah, everybody come to her meeting. Yes.
Real quick,
Mr. Smith, go ahead.
For the record, again, Madam Clerk, please stop me. Am I wrong? Councilwoman Dr. Papaloviak said that I wasn't at her meeting.
Yeah.
I was on Zoom. She was discussing roundabouts. She was not discussing this.
But when
So,
I
you're not come on. I'm gonna ask them to remove you. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
No, that's it.
Okay.
Like,
now you can talk now, but you can't interrupt everybody like you do consistently. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I would humbly ask the council to reconsider the one that was just flopped, because that is actually needed as well. And if we have that committee meeting, we can discuss both of them and bring the one back, 3322, we can bring that back. Both of them.
I am eager for that to happen.
You haven't been recognized. You have not been recognized. Please.
Destroyed police vehicle on it, and the one police officer did come and say, I think it was a 2018, that was totally unsalvageable. Even though it looked okay, the frame and everything was
Hold on one
destroyed.
second.
The young police officer. Yeah.
So I tell you what, we're not going to be able to resolve 3322 and 3922. We'll be back here September 5th. I suggest you take your time, go to the impound lot, do your homework.
No, both of those are going
back in committee, right? That's what I'm saying.
Right. We'll place those back in committee.
We'll put them back in committee?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Resolution number 4622. A resolution directing a portion of the city's coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund payment to respond to the COVID-19 public health emergency or its negative economic impacts by subawarding such funds to the Cuyahoga County Land Bank pursuant to the partnership established by Resolution 1516 as part of the city's Rebuilding East Cleveland Together program. This is a second reading.
Okay, Madam Clerk, I'm passing the gavel to Vice President. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution number 46-22 bears your name. What is your pleasure?
I'll sponsor resolution 4622 for discussion at this point. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Miss, you read it up. She wants to, Miss Gotti has.
Councilwoman Gowdy?
Yes, Councilman Gowdy.
Yeah, the residents in my ward where the development is ready to take place, which is good, like I said, to me, but they have questions and I feel like, you know, they're not satisfied with what they heard so far, and I'm going to give them the respect. And I'm asking if we can put this in, put a motion on them.
You want to put it in committee? You want to table it?
I really want to table this back into committee so we can.
Why? Can I ask?
More questions. One of the residents, and everybody knows him very well, in my ward, his name is Cole.
Yeah.
He had some good questions that it was not quite answered. When we had my meeting in my ward too, meeting on the first Wednesday, it wasn't clear. So a couple members that I know and residents that I know is still kind of shaky about the development. They're not quite sure with the taxes and stuff, how things is going to actually, is the taxes is going to go up? Do they going to put a cap on it? Will my grandchildren have this property? And, you know, and I know you made a great presentation, but they still not quite there.
So, Councilwoman Gowdy, you want to place it in this committee?
Yes, I definitely want to put it back in.
Okay, and what are we going to do between now and September 5th?
Right now, we can hear him out. He's here, they here, and we want to hear more, you know, because I do not want him to come this far and not to try to, you know, we got other residents that actually listen, so we really want to hear you out.
Let's hear it. Dennis? Okay, what are the questions, Ms. Gowdy?
Well, one of the questions that Polk had about grandfathering in or something like that for his grandchildren, we got kids, and, you know, once you fix these houses up, is they going to be grandfathered in with the taxes and stuff like that, because you said it's going to be a cap on it?
Right, so what I said was that it requires state law in order to pass a bill that which would become a law, hopefully, that would or could have the effect of capping the amount of property taxes for people who live next door to a development. That law has not been passed. The law has been being led and being worked on by an organization called CNP, Cleveland Neighborhood Progress. They're leading that effort. We are in support of that effort. The law does not exist as of today, but typically that's how the law works.
And like I said, you know, that's the questions that he's concerned about. Because if a law is not existing today, we don't know when it's going to be existing, even if you're working.
That's true. I mean, there's you know, I'm here to be honest. We are going to advocate as best we can, try to support the passage of state law. But there's no way for me to sit here and tell you absolutely the legislature down in the state of Ohio will pass something like that. I assume they will. I believe they will. We're going to advocate. The Land Bank has been very effective at passing laws just about every year since its inception. Gus Frango, the president of the Land Bank, also general counsel, is a very effective drafter of legislation. We've had a number of laws passed with success.
Well, we just hope that this one passes. Just hope that this one passes with success. Hopefully, when we work on the law and stuff, and we can table it. Like I said, we can bring it back. I want to put it back in committee because, like I said, the residents still have more things to actually ask the Land Bank because they want to talk about
the law. Will tell you we're not in a position where we can.
Is that no?
Wait for the passage of a proposed law in order to move forward with this development. We'll tell you that. So I'm prepared to answer each and every question today.
See, them see partial.
He was raised by his loving grandmother.
Go ahead.
Just to reassure Councilor Gowdy and the rest of the constituents, do we know the state?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
We listen.
It's a budget.
So do we know the status? Is it in committee in the House? Is it committee in committee in the Ohio Senate? Has it been brought out? Has it been voted on in either committee? Do we know the status of it?
I've been told that the bill was being drafted, and I know firsthand that there is a sponsor who's willing to introduce such a bill. That I know for sure.
In the House or in the Senate or both?
The particular sponsor is in the House.
Any other question for Mr. Roberts?
Well,
Ms. Gowdy?
Far as my ward and far as the residents answering these tough questions and the law have not passed, I'm not going to be favoring this at this time. I will table it and put it back in committee and we'll meet back up and see what's going on. I can't do something that's not in law yet. You know, that's irrelevant.
Sure. Is it possible I can make a few remarks briefly?
Yeah, I want to, how much time, I know we've been doing this for a while, Mr. Roberts, how much time do we have?
Well, I've been working on this particular project since 2015.
2015, okay.
Cleveland State did a study in 2020. Case Western Reserve did a study in 2015. What they concluded from that study are esteemed institutions that this particular area would be the best opportunity for the city to create some kind of catalytic development, and that the Land Bank, being quasi-governmental in nature, would be the best partner. As a result of those studies, essentially what we have done at the Land Bank, we have spent millions of dollars. Most recently, you have seen action. The building, the Burgundy building just came down this week. The building across your street, the Mickey's building, we paid $500,000 and are prepared to put more into that building to create real jobs and real opportunity. The last time I was here was probably about 3 weeks ago, where we brought consultants that we've hired from out of town in Atlanta to put site plans in front of the public to give people an opportunity to weigh in and really see how important this project is. We can't have a deeper level of commitment. In terms of the money, as an example, we have already got a letter from the state of Ohio, Jobs Ohio, commitment of $1.5 million for the Mickey's building. We also have another commitment from the county for $950,000 for the Mickey's building. We are really getting close to a juncture where we have to make a decision to move this forward. With any development project, there are some inherent risks. No developer could come here and tell you that there's no risk. There are inherent risks. But at the same time, you know, their decision will have to be made relatively soon. There's a window of opportunity where the money is available in government, whether it's City of East Cleveland, whether it's the county, whether it's the feds, whether you have the current talent that's assembled at the county land bank. It may not exist forever. And I just urge this council to consider the result if the project does not go forward.
I'm going to no, you don't. I do. Okay. I'm going to recognize Barbara, then I'm going to recognize Patricia Glovac, and then Corrine Stevens. All right, go ahead, former council. Go ahead. How you doing? Can we hear you? Okay.
Good evening, residents and non-residents or whatever. I come here today because I'm very interested in what is going on. Number two, I work very hard with Dennis and when I was a council person. And we're trying to get our city moving forward. We're not here to debate about who's doing what and who's not doing what. This has been coming along for the longest, okay? Now, I don't know if we got a political group or action group. Somebody should be going to talk to your officials, wherever they may be, and get some answer. When you come to this council meeting, there should be some decisions made here. I live in Ward 2, East Cleveland, and I served on this council for 17 long years. So I'm trying to tell you, I want my city to go forward. I don't want this one claiming this one didn't go to a meeting. That one didn't go to a meeting. Doggone it, put it together and get it together. Sorry, you can't seem to hold a decent conversation where decisions are made. Each time you go out there in the street, you don't know whether you're coming back or not. There's a risk. So what I'm saying to you is make a decision. You just put Kent in office. You just put somebody else in office. Make them work for you. I've never seen, well, I can't say I've never seen it because when I was up here, the same function and how Baloo was doing. My thing is, you got, I'm going to say this. You put in office a mayor. Everybody voted for him. Who voted for him? Some said they didn't vote, some said they didn't vote for Trump, but they did. You put him in office, now you're taking him out. You got Ward 3, you put in office, now you're taking him out. In November, you got enough signatures. I don't know how you got them, I don't care. But you got them. November, there's supposed to be an election. So I don't know whether you're gonna take them out or take them in or put them in or keep them in. But my thing is, I live in Ward 2. And I'm fighting like hell to keep Ward 2 along with East Cleveland going forward. And if it's just coming down to Lakeview and Mickey's and all of that, I've been there. I've seen it. And I don't give a darn who's in office, whether it's the mayor or whether it's the vice president. They got to work for you. Make them work for you. That's right. Make a decision, not sit up here and talk about, well, I had this, and they didn't come. Oh, and this one didn't come. And I'm trying to get it. Ever since January, I was trying to get this. You know what happened? The same thing happened. And give me and relate to what I'm fixing to say. Our board of education was tore up a couple of years ago by the same mess. Oh. Okay, one individual person and other individuals that collaborated with that one individual person tore it down. Yeah. Now you fixing to set up here and let one or two members on this council pass apart. I don't want to be torn apart. Neither do I. I want us all to be together. So I want all of the residents and the potential residents in the city of East Cleveland, come on out and fight with Barbara Thomas to save East Cleveland. because East Cleveland needs saving. Because if I don't ask God, I don't get no help from here. And that's what I'm here right now. That's what I'm here. Miss Gowdy, I'm in your ward. I want you to make good decisions. Okay? Miss Bahoviak, you in my ward. I want to see you making good decisions. And if you can't get nobody to come to your meeting, dadgummit, bring it to the people, and we'll see that you get somebody. I don't have anything else to say. Do say that. No, that I have worked with Dennis and his partner, and he's never lied. He's always tried to do the thing that was right by us. So why don't y'all quit monkey fucking around and get on with it? Some known, okay?
Ms. Stevenson, you have something you wanted to say?
I was next.
Oh,
you said I would be next.
You next?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I have two things to say. As soon as it's quiet. One is that I believe, and I apologize if I'm missing somebody out there who is also in it. I believe I'm the only person here who lives in the district affected by this project. And, pardon?
No, Gowdy's in that same district.
No, she doesn't live in it. It ends at Farmington. And it ends at Farmington. And I personally am willing to take the risk and to support this, knowing that my taxes might go up if this bill doesn't come through. I will take that risk personally. My concern, my only concern is the people in the ward who are having questions. And frankly, I think there's been a lot of discussion, and anybody who was really concerned about this, and we know who we're talking about, should be here to have his questions answered. And if he's not willing to be here and have his questions answered, then I personally am ready to proceed.
All right, so I'm open to a motion, but we can vote on this.
Ms. Stevenson wanted to speak.
I mentioned that, she said she didn't want to speak.
You changed your mind?
Okay, what is it, Ms. Gowdy?
Okay, if you're ready to vote or whatever,
right.
Voted up, voted down, so make no difference. I'm going to explain because at the end of the day, the resident is more than one resident is concerned about their house stuff going up. You might get a point with everybody.
And that's true.
A lot of people is on fixed income. A lot of people losing their job. Look at the gas. We ain't got no grocery store. They got to go way out. We don't have nothing. It's like a desert. And if you bring in this project and you support this project, and I thank you for the hard work that you bring forth. It's beautiful, but this is going to benefit the residents as a whole. What kind of contract do you got to give them so they can sign, so they can all be on board? I just want them to be on board too. So thank you.
Dennis, would you respond to that, please?
Yes, Councilor. Let me respond to that directly. So we already talked about potential risk. We talked about that, but let's also talk about potential reward. With new development, new homes, you get appreciation. So if you're Miss Johnson, you've been living in a house for 40 years, your house is only worth $20,000. Now you have something that's an asset that you can pass down to your grandchild. Or you can get ready to sell it. You can make 60 or 70 grand and do whatever it is that you want. Hear me out, hear me out. This is what I'm saying to you, hear me out. This is 33 acres, okay? It's gonna be 200 new housing types, brand new. There is no question that a brand new house is gonna be worth more than an older house, particularly in this market. There is nothing, the likelihood is quite high. Just so you know.
Wonderful old houses.
Come on, Mr. Ovek. Let him finish what he's saying.
County, just so you know, the county land bank, we rehab and we build houses all over the county. And our experience has been more often than not, when you're building a new house, which now costs you roughly $250 to build, you're selling at a higher price. I do recognize some historically beautiful houses like in East Cleveland cost a lot of money to renovate. I hear you, I get that. But most of the time, new houses, because of material costs, labor costs, et cetera, cost more. My point more than anything else is that people are also gonna get appreciation. The other component to think about is 17 or 18 of these parcels are facing Euclid. What our goal is, our stated goal in writing is to create a vibrant commercial corridor. Why do we want to do that? Because we want amenities. It's not amenities just for the people that we're trying to attract to this community, but it's also to benefit those folks who have been living here all this time. That photograph has a picture of a coffee shop, a picture of a coffee cup in front. That wasn't by accident. That is because we plan to reserve a certain amount of space to have a coffee shop or a place where people can gather. We're being thoughtful. That's a $3 million development, but yet we're reserving space to make sure the residents in this community have access to coffee or other pastries or other areas where they can come and gather. I say all that to tell you that we're not doing this in a vacuum. We recognize the importance of this community. And the reason I mentioned, and I've been doing this since 2015, is because I am personally firmly committed to the success of this project. That's why I continue to come back each and every week. But I will tell you, the window is closing. The window is closing, so we need to make a choice.
Yes, Scotty, go ahead.
The people need to see it in writing. They need to see the whole contract. They just don't need to, I mean, we see this beautiful thing that's getting ready to happen to our city. We do need this. We need all of this and then some. But at the end of the day, the residents, we don't want them to suffer behind all this beautiful stuff and they be pushed out of here. Like other cities doing other people.
One of the things we've done, for example, we've raised $125,000, right? And we have a staff person that's going up and down the street. We have the addresses. We've identified properties that need additional work. What we plan to do, these are grants that we're giving away per house, $10,000. The land bank is not going to give cash. We're going to hire a contractor ourselves, and we're going to try to rehab many of these houses. We only raised $125,000, but we're going to move on Woodlawn, to Brightwood, to Penrose. One of the reasons we're doing that because we want to give every person who wants to stay in this community an opportunity to stay in this community. So I'm with you. I share your concern, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to protect those residents.
And I have been on you tough about making sure that the people who got houses worth $30,000, $40,000 don't get jeopardized by a $300,000 house. Okay, and you know that's when we met at Dowdy's War Club meeting, I brought it up. The 15-year tax abatement and all that. I think, and I need to say this, and I value everybody's opinion. We're at a crossroads now. Okay, we don't have a supermarket. We don't have a bank. Okay, we can turn this around. Okay, everything is a risk. It's not perfect. We will stay on you, and you'll help with us to make sure we do this right. Okay, we've been discussing this since 2015. It's time for us to act. Okay, that's where I'm at. I'm going to have one more comment on this by the mayor, and then we need to vote on this. Go ahead.
Thank you for that,
right.
President.
Okay.
Dennis, thank you. This has been a long time coming. We've been working at it. Right, and I think back to the first MOU.
Speak up a little louder.
We've been at this for a while. I think back to the first MOU at the church, second MOU, right? I think of all the work that we put into this. I think of, as the elected official, understanding the information in front of you, understanding how it will impact the city, the residents, and the future of both. And I have to vote in accordance with that, right? I have to vote for the residents. I'm speaking of when I was on council, that was my mindset, that they've entrusted me to vote on their behalf. I'm understanding from the law director that as council, I'm going to defer to her. You have the ability to cap property taxes. I definitely want to defer to her to speak further on that. and we will push. We have great relationships downstate. We will push to get this passed statewide. Will it, please?
I'm taking a lesson from Mr.
Willie Hemmings, let him know you're the law director. Go ahead.
Law director. I'm taking a thing from Otis Mays, and I'm telling you that you have the power to cap the tax, property tax. You don't have to wait for somebody like a householder down in General Assembly of Columbus. You can cap it. The reason I know that is because when my sister bought her house in DC for $65,000, her taxes were minimum. Her house is now worth $750,000 on Capitol Hill. Her council for DC capped it. You're a city, you have home rule. You can cap it. If you, I can do legislation.
That's down, Frank.
Assembly. You, all right, Councilwoman Gowdy, can cap it for 15 years. Gowdy! And say these homes can be grandfathered in. You don't have to go. I beg to differ with you down to General Assembly because they are the elected representatives for the city of East Cleveland. And I know you may not have realized that, but they have it. And if you send me, I'll make the legislation. You're gonna say tomorrow.
So I'm open to a motion to vote on. All right. Okay, you want to? Okay, you want to make?
The law director had the spoke, and you can cap it.
We need to cap it then. Okay, I'm open for a motion so we can move on. Come on.
Make it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I sponsor 5222 and move for its adoption.
Second.
Okay. It's been second. Discussion. Yes, Ms. Stevenson.
Can I be added?
Yes, you can be added on there. All right. It's looking good.
Council President, I would like to be added.
Yeah.
Yes, they would.
Councilor Bahovia.
Aye.
Councilor Stevenson.
Yeah.
Councilor Gowdy.
Yay.
Councilor Smith.
Yay.
Councilor Martin.
Yay. All right. All right. Okay, Madam
Thank
Clerk,
you.
let's move on.
Thank you. You won't be disappointed. You're in good hands with the land bank. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
In developing programming to engage area youth and senior citizens.
Madam Clerk, you have the gavel. Yeah.
Resolution number 52-22 bears the name of Council President Nathaniel Martin. What is your pleasure?
I sponsor resolution 5222 and move for its adoption.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. President. It's been seconded by Councilwoman Gowdy.
Let's have some discussion.
Madam Clerk, any discussion, please? Any discussion?
It looks like it's got some bunch of people.
The discussion is about the special grant conditions that were sent to you all that the law department and the city need to consider for the grant process.
Yeah.
Here.
Councilor Stevenson gave this placed in front of each of you. She gave out some special conditions.
The applications that we got only deal with the program activity. None of the other documents that are listed here that are generally required when you submit a grant application are in that document. So that is the certifications and assurances that keep the city safe, so that they have their own insurance. And if anything happens in that program with any kind of anything, that program is liable and not the city of the city and the county, because the council can also be held liable for programmatic activity if there's a problem and the certifications and assurances are not in place.
You gotta go.
Council, we want this to happen.
Okay. Okay, okay, Miss, you chairing the meeting. Right now.
Any other? Thank you, Councilwoman Kareem Stevenson.
I want to say something. Okay, got it. You go first, got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
She Council Stevenson mentioned the insurance and stuff, and you know, Council Stevenson mentioned the insurance and stuff, and I'm quite sure you're gonna have all that. And I'm quite sure that you're capable of having all this, you know, in place so you can run smoothly out here, because you have did an excellent job throughout the years, and I am for this.
Thank you, Councilwoman Gowdy.
Go to Ms.
Councilwoman Dr. Pat Wahoviak.
I do have some concerns. I've been asking for the methodology and not gotten any response to that. I also see that on our legislation, it says that Black on Black is a nonprofit. And if it's a nonprofit, then we should have the things that Councilor Stevenson requested, the IRS letter of determination and the business certification and operational bylaws and that sort of stuff. Letter from their banking institution. Those things should be present if they are actually a nonprofit, and I haven't seen those. I was aware that Councilor Stevenson was going to add this. So I'm interested in that, and if anyone can respond to that, that would.
Councilwoman Wahoviak, Miss Judy Martin is our treasurer and our secretary. She is in possession of all of that information, and unfortunately, due to her health issues, she can't come here physically. If council requires that before making a decision, I can get that from her. I can present all of that. Because we have that, the documentation, all of that.
The IRS determination and all that sort of thing.
Right. Councilwoman Stevenson.
I'm not trying to hold this up. I just want to make sure that we get this stuff, because the finance department and Black on Black crime can work it out, because this is clear, and it was some copies out there that once they get what they need, as far as I'm concerned, it's good to go.
Council President.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all. It's about building relationships. This morning, it's funny that we're discussing this today. I was listening to the radio this morning on WCPN Public Radio. They talk about the consent decree, and they've been doing that for 8 years. I've been to meetings all year with the police department and Black on Black. They're out in the community, okay? It's not easy. We're doing something progressive and historical here, okay? We're not gonna always be perfect, but we're doing something historical and perfect. I think it's a right move, and I think in the end, we all will benefit from it, okay? I had them cut some of the money out, okay? We did that. We got enough here for, and we're gonna monitor this. This is our role as council people, to monitor and stay on top of it. I chair health and safety. I've been in those meetings. It's a productive thing that we're doing here, okay? I wish Cleveland could do this, Okay, but they can. In any situation, it's not perfect. Certain things go this way, certain things go that way, but this is a thing that we need to do. I just need to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Commander McDonald, you want a word?
Thank you all for having us here. I'm speaking on behalf of Chief Scott P. Gardner, and along with the other officers and detectives that work for the city of East Cleveland. We enjoy what we do. It's not a job, it's a career. Working with Black on Black crime will be phenomenal, outstanding. It's not no word that I could ever explain. We have someone who wants to work with the police instead of against the police. We need help. We need help. All the help we can get, all the resources we can get. They're willing to stand on the front line with East Cleveland Police Department, and we're willing to stand on the front line with Black on Black crime. We need them just like they need us.
So can we incorporate these special conditions into this? 52, 22.
You know what I would like to do, and I hope that we can work this out. We need to have Laura ready to take a look and see how to. I'm not opposed to incorporate it. Have her look at it. We can add it to it. But I don't want to hold it up.
I don't want to hold it up either. That's why I gave it to you 2 weeks ago.
I read it.
It's solid. I need to know that my house ain't gonna be taken if something happened in that program, and that's what this is about.
We hear from the founder of Black on Black.
This is about. Get it right. The employment of people. This city cannot take on the employment of people for Black on Black crime. We can't do that.
What do you mean by employment of people? What do you mean?
They're employing about 8 or 10 people. Is that how many people are in your proposal to be employed?
If I might say this, it wasn't too long ago that you came to Black on Black.
Mister, you answer the question, please.
Listen.
How many people are going to be?
I will answer the question. But can I tell the truth?
This is just, it's very simple. Okay, all day.
I'll let you talk. But it wasn't too long.
The application that I got has about 8 or 10 people in it. Okay. If I apply for a grant for 8 or 10 people to be employed, I have to have workers' comp insurance. That's all I'm saying. Put the certifications and insurances in place.
All right, hold on. Law Director, can you respond to that?
Right. We can put this in effect. Okay, we can do that.
Okay, if we pass this tonight, can you add that? Add it to it?
No problem.
Okay.
But that's just one thing. This document states, it's very clear how this process works, and she needs to work with him and the finance department.
Okay, the background check.
Okay.
No, I don't know anything about anything
about everybody in here, really.
Miss Gowdy, I don't.
I'm just saying, really, you do. The background
check. Miss Gowdy,
the background check.
This is a grant. This is a grant, Miss Gowdy, and our job is to protect the city.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Stevenson, I appreciate Gowdy. Okay, we've worked it out. Willingham is the law director. Art McCoy.
If you work with a kid, you have to have a background check.
Work this out. Work this out. Okay. All right. So when we come back, okay. All right. And let her know. So we got it done. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Art McCoy. Yeah.
I say something.
Yes, please.
Honorable Ms. Stevenson, about a couple years ago, came to Black on Black and asked us
to help sponsor a grant for her for East Cleveland and Shaw in basketball.
All right.
She sit at the table like we're sitting now. We didn't ask for all these stipulations. She asked us to, I have sworn people here. You wait.
Come on.
I'll let
Corey,
you talk.
let him
I
talk.
cannot tell the truth.
Okay.
You came to us. We helped you promote your grant for Shaw High School and the basketball team. We didn't ask for anything. We didn't ask for stipulation. You got your grant, and we wish you well. So what is all this about?
One correction.
Yes, what is that?
I did not work with the Shaw High School basketball team.
Well,
that
listen,
never happened, Mr. McCoy.
That's what your grant said.
Mr. McCoy, that
okay, all right, okay. Listen, I just don't want people to be hypocritical. Okay,
it's not hypocritical.
Right, okay, that's all I want. Now I want to move on.
Okay,
I want to move on. All right,
McCoy.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
First of all, listen, this is the most unique opportunity for this city as far as crime fighting that there could be, all right? Listen, it is very rare that you can get the chief and the captain and the commander to open up to the citizens, and we can communicate with the relationship. Listen, I fought with the police for many times, but now we can form a relationship in which we can help the seniors, the young people, and all of us come together. It's about a relationship. That's what this is all about. Yes. And if we can build, listen, you go to Cleveland, you go to any of these other police departments, they're gonna close the door.
They don't have it. Right.
When Councilman Martin, when we go to Commander McDonald and the chief, they open their door. Even with the chase, all right? We went to them, we said, there's too many chases. At first they was resistant, but in the end, we all came to agree that there might have been too many chases, and we began to work on that. There's other issues. When the other cities were being tore up by violence, we got together. We drove the bus and we walked down to see, and we have violence in it. So it's a relationship. That's all I'm trying to build. I don't have all the answers. I'm not perfect, but we have a relationship, and that's very rare that you can get a police department and the chief himself open up. Brother, it's a relationship. Now, listen, I don't want to dwell on that. I want to hurry up and get this over. The history of black on black, old school. Y'all remember old school? All right, the history of black on black, 40 years of service in East Cleveland. All right, look, and it's all about let the work that we've done speak for us. Listen, black on black started in 1979 with William Five in Euclid, and it came to East Cleveland in 1984, and we've been working for the people ever since. Listen, our first office was in Miss Bloodworth building right there on Page and Wymore, and joining us was people like Miss Tatum Daly, Miss Ellie, Benny Records, Tatum, and King Shoes was right there. The only black all right, so we go right on down, and listen, we had our first meeting at the YMCA. Y'all don't remember that, right on Lee Road there.
Yeah.
Which later became the Love Fest Connection. For 26 years, Black on Black ran the Love Fest, and good news. 2023, with relationship, we intend on bringing the Love Fest back. The Love Fest have a major ingredient because of the great combination between the people, the police. Our goal is to bring that back. Listen, Ted Gary sitting right over there. He had our office, and we had it inside of the ping pong chess house. The mayor and the others came in there to play ping pong and chess. And after that, Mr. Harris became president. And years later, we moved in the McCall Motel. And guess what happened in the McCall Motel? We met a young man named Brother Smith, young man at the time. Mr. Harry Smith in the car, he over in his office, and start giving out clothes and giveaways. I can go on and on. So what I'm saying is that through the good, bad, and ugly in these Cleveland, we have been the organization you can depend on. We are now at 154.50 Kipling, 3 minutes out of East Cleveland. Listen, our major work is in East Cleveland. Listen, we got the Wall of Sorrow. Ted had the food bank for years. Listen, we got Alvin and Calvin boots on the field. We got Miss Bayback, the big Black Woman's Army. We got the Hoop House. Our current president is Al Ford. And we just trying to do this, or we might can do this. We do this. We work together. We're doing it now, and we keep on doing it. So if we get the money or not, we're gonna still let the work that we do speak for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we had we had a motion in a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilor Bohan? Aye. Councilor Stevenson?
Yay.
Councilor Garvin?
Yay.
Councilor Smith?
Yay.
Councilor Martin?
Yay! Yeah. Thank you. The police department said, thank you. Get a round of applause. Thank you. All right, let's move to the next one. It's the pad. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Economic impacts by several working funds for Metro Parks, pursuant to the Forest Park Assessment Plan. Second read.
Madam Clerk, our sponsor. No. Smith.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 55-22 bears the name of President Nathaniel Martin. What is your pleasure, sir?
I sponsor resolution 5522 and move for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded.
Yes.
I would, yeah.
I want to read this right quick because I thought this was something that was really dear to my heart. Matter of fact, Metro Parks, I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but it's the best in the country, Metro Parks. And they're going to take over the park. They're going to fix the bathroom, they get things that has been functioning for the last 10 or 15 years. So we're moving in the right direction. But there's history with the park. Here's some of the history. Forest Hill Park was originally John D. Rockefeller's summer home. The 235-acre park was donated to the cities of East Cleveland and Cleveland Heights. Forest Hill Park was designed by landscape architect A.D. Taylor, who helped design the NYC Central Park, New York City Central Park. East Cleveland has 175 acres, are listed in the National Historic Landmark. East Cleveland Parks Association has been maintaining the park for some years with the help of Gordon Hay and Dutch Harley. You guys remember Dutch Harley? Okay, right. It's a 503 nonprofit. It has built a new playground, installed new parking lots, manages restoration and environmental programs, and runs a literature camp for local youth. The paradox in the situation is we haven't had the money to maintain the park. So you know what that means? That all the natural things in the park is in place. Clinton Heights doesn't have that because they build a lot of different things and it's not there. So we have a chance now, especially to do some really remarkable things. Metro is stepping up. We're going to kick in some money. They're going to kick in some money, and you're going to be glad to have your relatives and your friends come to the park. This is another great thing we've done. This is an important night for you. This is not. Do you feel it? Yeah. All right. All right.
Call for the vote.
Thank you, Dr. Pat. Madam Clerk, you call for the vote, please.
Counselor Stevenson? Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
Resolution number 5622, resolution directing a portion of the city's coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund payment to the city's COVID-19 response, authorizing formal engagement with legal consultants to assist with managing and administering American Rescue Plan Act funds not to exceed $50,000. Second reading.
Resolution number 56-22 bears the name of Council President Nathaniel Martin. What is your pleasure?
I'll sponsor resolution 5622 and move for its adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, I'd like for the mayor to say something about this because you just want to do the vote? Oh, okay, let's go to do the vote. We don't have to go there.
Madam
okay?
Clerk.
Yay.
Yay. Counselor Gowdy? Yay. Counselor Smith?
Yay.
Counselor Martin?
Yay!
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And now I pass the gavel back to Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we've done the legends. Remarks and requests of the public. You can line up. You get 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. We start with Mr. O'Mays. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah.
Number one, when there is an ordinance before council and it says it has no sponsor, not having no sponsor, they're saying it had been tabled and you do not remove it from the table. You cannot discuss something that's not before you. You have to bring it before you first. And number two, it does not speak well for whomever is on the committee with Councilman Rehoboth. Now she chairs the committee, and it is the responsibility of the council that's on that committee to participate with her and to set her meeting. And everyone, if you've been on council, even a year, you know that. And so it doesn't matter, you have to put aside these personalities. This is a government. It affects the lives of people. And you must do your due diligence. You responsible to us. And I feel that her chair, that she chairs whatever contract committee that she chairs, those committee members supposed to be in attendance of those meetings when she calls the meeting. And secondly, I think this council need to know the Robert Rules of Order. And this, again, this is a government, affects the lives of the people. And then when we see this council, you leave a lot to be desired. And we need to work together to move this city forward. And I'm just gonna say it because it's true. I was here even before when it was city manager, commission from a government. I was here and took part in it. And I said, it's not the city manager form of government. It's the people whom we put in office. So I said, changing it from mayor to council, which this city has bounced before. It's not the first time we had a council mayor form of government. But anyway, I said, changing the form of government, not going to make a difference. It's changing the people that whom we put in office that will make the difference. And so after we change the form of government down through the years, and it doesn't speak well for us. It does not speak well for us. There have been things happening constantly ever since we had a mayor form, a council form of government. And I think anyone have been here is cognizant of that. And that's irrefutable. And that does not speak well for us.
One more
minute,
Mr. O'Mays.
Let us please get together. Learn order of how you conduct the meetings. Secondly,
one more minute, O'Mays, please. Come on.
All of this yelling and screaming, what have you. You're not here to love each other. You're here to serve the people of the city of East Freeport. And you need to learn to work together. That's what moves a city forward. And I hope from this point forward, we will do that and not saying like we had a ball game, hooping and a hollering. This is a government. And whether a person different with something in their committee, they have that right to do so. And without being castigated by other members of the council. I've served on this council.
Come on, come on.
You can't tell me how to speak. No, now give me my thing. You all go.
No, sit down. Okay. Someone else, please. Come on. I would give you more time, but that never satisfied you. Thank you. Okay, all right. Come on, Fambro, come on.
Good evening, Council. My question has to do with Resolution 5522. And the preamble just doesn't say enough, but my question is, will the park remain the property of East Cleveland?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Good question. The park still belongs to East Cleveland. Okay. Yes, yes, sir. What's your name, sir?
Greetings, my name is Philip Moore and I stand before you with another resident, and I am a resident, Rachel Carter. We're here and I'll say greetings to Council President, Vice President, other council members, and Mayor Brandon King. I come to you with an open letter inviting, before I even present the open letter, let me say, I am glad to see progress being made in the development within East Cleveland. It's taken a long time, and I'm glad to see progress being made. I stand here representing NOAA as volunteers. There's been a lot of activity going on in the city, and the residents feel as though, a group of us feel as though we have not been included. So I present to you an open letter inviting the mayor, President Nathaniel Martin, Vice President Ernest Smith, and the other councilors to a community meeting on Monday, August 29th at 6:30. Don't worry, I'll give you a letter. You don't have to write it down. At New Covenant Lutheran Church, located at 1424 Hayden Avenue in East Cleveland, Ohio. I invite the public and everyone else. It's an open meeting. We would like for you to come to discuss the responsible development in the city. It's great things going on around Euclid Avenue toward
Ward 2, Ward 2.
Yes, in Ward 2. There's other parts of the city we like to address as well and get the input from the administration and council. We do not want the rest of the city neglected, and the citizens would like to have some type of input and communication and dialogue with you. So we are inviting you, and I have a letter for each one of you. One for Mayor.
He's gonna get it. Okay.
Martin.
All right.
And let me make sure I give you all the council members one.
All right, this is yours.
Hope I didn't mix them up for you. There you go. Thank you. I hope you do attend. The citizens look forward to hearing from you. We would like to see progress continue in this city. All the infighting needs to stop. You know what? I don't know what you guys discussed in your committee meetings. I wish you become more productive because coming here, this is an embarrassment for me to stand here and listen to this. So no, you need to hear it. Don't be no, that's a problem.
I don't agree with
people see this.
Yeah, that's your
see this. Thank you. People see this. And that's the problem right there.
No, I don't. Okay, go ahead.
And I don't agree with a lot of things.
Your opinion, sir, and I appreciate it, but I don't agree with it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Can I finish?
Yes.
And that's the problem right there. You have every right to disagree with me.
I certainly do.
And guess what? Talk to, and I wish you would communicate with other people within the city and outside the city. This stuff is broadcast. Yeah. And people see this. Why are you responding to me? You want everyone else to be respectful.
Okay, I'm going to let it go because you.
Now, with that being said, I encourage you to come and participate. If you cannot, please let us know. There's numbers, email addresses on that letter. We would like for this city to come together. Things like this need to stop. With this being said, and this is an example, with this being said, we need to come together, and all I want to do is come in peace and love. That's it. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just have one thing to say, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
I've been in East Cleveland 40 plus years, and I've been to several of these council meetings. And just what you're doing now, she did it, you didn't like it, you stopped it. Practice what you preach.
Well, Mark. All right.
No, you don't do that.
Okay.
You hear
Yeah. It's bias. Okay. It is. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My name is Patricia, and I reside in East Cleveland. I am a resident of East Cleveland and have been for some time. And I'm up here to say I'm very disappointed. My significant other got a petition pulled for his recall. And it's very disappointing because for the past 4 years that he's been in office, buildings got tore down, grass got cut, streets got paved, and then for them to put our 2-year-old child in the statement for the recall. He brings his child to the council meeting. Of course he does. Her mother is sick. I have been sick for the past 3 years. I have a form of Crohn's disease, so I will be in and out of the hospital. So yes, you will be seeing her up there with Councilman Smith occasionally. It breaks my heart. And then to top it off, they lied to get people to sign a petition. That means these people are scared. Y'all lied to get people to sign a recall petition. Yeah, that's scary to me. That's hitting below the belt to me. You know, I may not know a lot about this, you know, city council or the city or whatnot, but I know enough. And I would like for y'all to keep my child's name out of y'all mouth. Because it's disrespectful as a young mother, a sick young mother, for my significant other to show me that my child's name is in any of y'all's mouth. and y'all still try to give my daughter gifts. No, I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. It's disrespectful. And I'm pretty sure any mother would not accept that. And I'm not going to. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Hi, Council. Hi, Mayor.
Is that John Jones?
Yes.
All right.
I just have two questions. My first question is, I spoke with Council President a couple of months ago, and I wonder if you ever put together a safety plan for the city?
That's not my role. It's not my role to do that. We'll talk about, but that's not my role. Go ahead.
You chair safety, right? You told me that you were going to.
That's not my role to put together. That's the administration. Go ahead.
Okay, well,
okay.
At that time, he said he was going to get it together. He was going to put.
I never said that. I never said that.
Uh-oh.
I never said that. Okay. No, yeah. No, but tell the truth. Tell the truth.
This is the truth.
Okay. Right.
Number two, did you ever give the letter to the manager at Dollar General?
I never did that. You did do that, but
you did say that. You're admitting that you said that?
That I said. But
okay,
I never
but you didn't follow through.
Right. I didn't follow through. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you plan on doing it, or?
Would you like for me to do it?
Yes, Council President.
Okay.
I'd like you to
All
keep
right.
your word. We're trying to get a better city, right?
Yeah.
Deter people from stealing from Dollar General, right? Yes, the answer is yes. I'd like you to do what you said.
Well, there's a whole story behind that. And since you, okay, when I get to my remarks, I'll tell you what happened, because I've been by Dollar General, and the manager's been told that they need to get security. They haven't acted on it. I can't control what Dollar General does. I can tell them what I think needs to be done. It's a private entity.
Yes, you're just gonna give them a letter, right? Do you need help formulating the letter?
I know that you, since, okay, you know, all right. Okay, all right, forget about it.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
I'm Walter Milton Sr., born and raised in East Cleveland. I got the program out here, Voices for My People. That's what I say about sons and daughters. Don't worry about it, Nate. I'll stop up there and talk to them tomorrow. I got it. I do it. But anyway, what I wanted to say, I was sitting in the back, and I seen how y'all all voted together, right? Why can't y'all just come together, man, and be like that, man, instead of everybody want to sit back and pull recalls on each other, right? It's a shame that I sit back and I watch the council people them out in the streets pulling the petitions on the mayor, right? With Frambo's with y'all. Then I sat down with Frambo's and Hobiak and said, hey, let's have a meeting with the mayor and sit down and try to work this out. You lied to me. You lied to my face. You actually lied to me. You told me after you met with the mayor and got what you wanted, you wouldn't continue to pull a recall on it. You lied to me. But it's cool though. It's all right though. See, one thing about it, I got the voice of the people in the city, because I get out here in the streets and do everything I need to do. You will be the next person to be recalled. Everybody have a blessed day.
Miss, come on up. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Oldham. And the question I have is, when you were talking about I don't remember which number it was, about the park, or Hill Park. I'm wondering, with them help me out, who's taking it over? Metro Park.
Yeah, Metro Park.
Metro Park is taking it.
They're going to manage.
Manage, that's right. Not take it over. I meant manage. Manage, right. And at the one meeting I was at, it was stated that they were going to tear down that big building there. Is that still in the process?
Still in the process.
Still in the process. All right, very good. The other thing is, years ago, when you would have something at the park, you would have to go through the city or whoever if you wanted to get a permit or whatever. Is that still going to be the plan? I mean, this was years ago. I mean, it might have been before some of you guys' time. I don't know. I've been here 50 years, so I don't. Is that
I think that's still, you know,
Is that
I know
still?
like Shaw Alumni has this thing every year.
Every year, right.
And they have to go through the administration. to do it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Someone asked me that and I
Right.
wanted to find out if it was still. All right, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
thank
evening.
you. Yes. Oh, okay. When Gordon Hay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Go ahead, sir.
I don't come to a lot of council meetings, but I have to say that the range of emotions here tonight was truly human. And
Yeah.
your patience and sensitivity to all of the issues that come before you are amazing to me, that you are able to do what you do. But I'm here to thank you for what you've done for our city in terms of stepping forward and allowing Metro Park to come and manage Forest Hill, manage, not own, manage Forest Hill Park for our city. This is a big thing. It's a huge thing. And people will be able to feel safe. Yes. Everybody will be able to use that park. It is a park for all people, all people. And it is about time that a community that has been systemically ignored a chance to get a piece of property that can be admired and appreciated by everyone. So from the bottom of my heart, and here's a guy, I've spent the last 10 years helping take care of the park. And I want to thank you for the support that each of you have given. Come on, I'm dead serious about that. For all the people that are complaining here tonight, I'm absolutely jubilant. And if I can buy each of you a glass of wine, consider it done.
Okay, we have someone online, Tracy.
Esmeralda's
okay,
Esmeralda iPhone, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I live in Ward 2 and I have a couple of questions. We have a major midterm election coming up in November. I've asked this question before about polling places, neighborhood polling places. And I was told that due to COVID, the Board of Elections decided not to use Orthrop Towers. If we can't vote there, I don't live there, at least let the citizens that live there vote there. Yeah. I mean, we need polling places. And I can guarantee you that Ward 2 is underrepresented in the most recent elections because we have nowhere to vote in our neighborhood. There's so many people in this community who walk, who take public transportation, who cannot vote. And it's really bothering me that we are not being included in the election process in this community. I'd also like to ask the question, I live in Ward 2, and I noticed that the room has been demolished. And I asked the question of council in Ward 2's meetings earlier this month, if anybody in the administration or on council know what the plans are for that piece of land. Thank you.
My turn.
Yeah.
Justin Anderson, now a resident of Ward 2, also 1865 Roslyn. That issue is really important about the voting polls.
Yeah.
I reached out to the schools and they said that Superior School is under construction and they don't feel safe having people coming in and out of there, and they're using the gym for lunch. So it'll be highly unlikely that we get to use Superior School as a voting location. I was maybe thinking one of the churches or something, but we're running out of time. So we need to try to figure that out. This is going to be an important election, especially for the governor's race coming up. And we want to try to increase our embarrassing turnouts here. Usually we have about 4,500 people vote in the governor's race. We're hoping to have over 5,000 this year. that race is extremely important, no matter which side you're supporting. I know that NOAA is going to be offering rides to the polls. So I hope that Councilwoman Gowdy can work with NOAA or whoever, whatever other transportation service the mayor may have or anybody else to get the residents of Ward 2 to the polls, because the people, they don't have cars. Half of them don't have, most of them don't have money for the bus. They already don't want to vote. So if you move the polls further away, it's highly unlikely that they won't vote. So I just hope that y'all can figure out some type of transportation service to get the residents of Ward 2 to the polls. Thank you.
All right.
Can I add something?
Yes, Ms. Stevenson, go ahead.
Let me add, I would just like to add that in the last election, even though there's no polls in Ward 2, Ward 2 had the highest turnout in sections A and B. With regard to voting, they outdid Ward 4D, and initially we were the winner as far as the turnout, but they outdid us in Ward 2, even without polls. So you know how important it is to put those polls back in place.
Very important. Very.
Yes, Austin's the former Councilman Tim Austin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good to see you. Go ahead.
I was encouraged by a couple of our residents to actually come out to this meeting, and I'm happy that I did, to hear some good things took place. However, I went and met with some organization that talked about the lack of information about voting. And East Cleveland was one of the topic of discussion because we have so many people that are believed not to have the right to vote. And I want to share with some of the persons that don't know that a convicted felon can vote. If you're not incarcerated at the time that that ballot comes across, or if you are convicted of something that specifically identifies you as a person that cannot vote. If you've lost that right, aspire to get your rights back, go through that process. And I want to share with you that it's very important for us to start coming out and having guide and or steer our representatives in a way that will encourage them to do the things that we want them to do. Sometimes we don't get the representation that we need because the persons that sit before us don't know what we want. And one way is to identify what we want is to either meet them where they are, find their phone numbers and start sending those notes that would cover those issues that are important to us. One of the things that I've been, kind of had my shirt tail pulled to on a continuous basis is the water lines on Euclid Avenue that continues to bust and causes all kinds of problems. We almost back where we started before they resurfaced Euclid Avenue. I want to know what the plan is to start working on some of those, the resolve for some of those things. I know my time is getting near. However, one thing that I was concerned about, that we had the opportunity to vote to have those water lines replaced. And 3 of the persons right now on this correction, 2, one person is new, did not vote to have those water lines replaced. I'm exceptionally concerned. Matter of fact, it was 3. Didn't have those things done. And now when I see the water lines up under Euclid Avenue busting from one end to the other, I'm exceptionally disturbed. So if there is a need for change, that is one of the principal, I guess, issues that should be on the table right now to be addressed. Having those water lines, and I don't know where you were, Mayor, I think we talked about getting an overlay of where those bad places were, and so we don't put the cart before the horse. If y'all can revisit that, I really appreciate it. Timothy Austin, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody from the public? Okay, remark from the mayor?
Thank you, Council President.
Yes.
I would like to thank everyone who was here, everyone who was on Zoom and remains on Zoom. Tonight was an historic night for the city of East Cleveland. We are moving the city forward. And I just like to give Council a round of applause. Things that we have been working at for quite some time. Let me go back to the Metro Park. I got on council 2014. We passed legislation giving Gordon Hay and the Parks Association 2 broke down tracks. And basically threw our hands up. We couldn't manage the park. Please help us. 2016, I become mayor. Spring 2017, Gordon takes me to Brian Zimmerman in the Metro Park. He orchestrates that initial meeting. in those conversations over that first year. They promised to come back, they did. We worked diligently for this night. 2022, we've gotten it done. Gordon, thank you. Thank you for your resolve. I appreciate all of the comments around voting. Voting is important. I want everyone to come out and vote. As always, the mayor's office will provide rides, and we will work with any organization who wants to help us, help the residents get out and vote. Get out and vote. I have talked to the Board of Elections so that we're clear. It is the federal government that shut down the HUD building. It wasn't the Board of Elections. They shut down the HUD building and being voted because of the pandemic that we're under. So we've been facing. Let's see, Metro Parks. I forgot one thing. So $2 million from the city. Talk to Cheryl Stevens, our rep. She's going to work to get us $2 million. The Metro Parks has committed 4. We passed this legislation. They will commit another 2. That's 6. Our 2, we counted 2. That's 10. We're halfway there. Captured in that is taking down that building, vacating that part of Terrace to extend the park, make it more of a walkable community. They do a fabulous job. The language has not been finalized. However, it would be right now, and we'll talk to the resident as we move forward with this, to have the request to use the park come through the Metro Park. Right? That would be our preference, that happens. As many of you know, we have not adjusted the plans, finances, all of that stuff to get the park. And it's really, I don't want to say laughable, but it is quite laughable because we do need to update a lot of these ordinances that we have, a lot of these fees that we have, simply justify that. Briefly, Euclid Avenue, water main, I appreciate that comment. Ahead of finishing off Euclid, as many of you remember, we did Superior back. We spent a considerable amount of time in front of the 2 shopping centers, Burger King, fixing the water underneath there. Pandemic hit, prices went sideways. The contractors, OHM, came in front of council 2-3 times to say prices are going up. You can't stop them. The contractor needs a change order. I forget what it was. Council would not give it to him. Council voted no on giving it. We kept saying, hey, the pandemic has caused prices to go up. That's why you see a lot of the pipes under the ground bursting. So, and I know this doesn't quail the concerns of some council, but we do plan ahead. So we did do the sewer, water ahead of putting a new road on there. And again, you can't control when something breaks, but we do plan and map it out that way. Briefly, one of the things I have to keep reminding myself of, I've been an active member of NOAA. Where's the young man at? Another person asks a question and run. I've been an active member of NOAA since 2008. And I have to remind myself, many people who are on NOAA now are newcomers, so to speak, to NOAA, right? Councilman Martin, NOAA.
Yeah,
NOAA,
I've been there for
right?
years.
Been putting in work for NOAA for years.
Yeah.
Let me mention a misnomer that the residents have not had a voice in this. I was there in 2014. I'm sorry, I was there in 2013. Case Western Reserve did the survey of residents to talk about the redevelopment of the community, right? And then we determined, hey, it might be best if we started coming out of Case. We knew then that posed our best opportunity. This is Case Western Reserve, Mark Chuck. Remember the meetings we had in 14, most recently 2019 with Cleveland State, Dean England, a renowned professor in this field, in the meetings that we had with the community as orchestrated by NOAA, right? So that we're clear. And a lot of people have been saying, hey, for the sake of clarity, let's get it clear. The residents have weighed in on this. The residents will continue to weigh in on this. I believe in the residents' voice. That's why I am a member of NOAA. The community support. I believe in all of that. I think I've covered everything. Yeah, I'd like to thank you. May history tonight is Cleveland. God bless.
All right, we're going to hear from the council people. We're going to close out. Councilwoman Corrine Stevenson.
Today, Mayor King, I was on 143rd, and it seems that we've got this roving 18-wheeler truck park that he keeps moving around Ward 4. We catch him on one street, he moves to another street. So now he's down, I guess, on 143rd, and the police, I would like the police to go down there and get him off 143rd, tearing up people's tree lawns, etc. That's all I have.
Okay. Patricia Boloviak.
Lots of things I'd love to say. One is around the voting. We had been working hard to try to get them to allow us to use Superior, but if it can't happen, Lakeside Baptist used to be a polling place, and I guess that's the next place to try. People should know that anyone who is incarcerated but not yet convicted I will be teaching knitting and crocheting at the Coit Road Farmers Market. I'll have a modest supply of knitting needles and crochet hooks starting at 10:30 on Saturday. With coupons. They had $240 coupons for people who were WIC eligible. No, SNAP eligible. I don't know if they still have those, but if you have children in your home and are eligible for food stamps, you may still be able to get $240 worth of buying power at the market. I got something from the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District, and it was talking about how much recycling and composting people had done. And the only one I see that's at 0% is East Cleveland. I'm wondering, does that mean that the stuff that goes into that bin at the transfer station, does that not get recycled? Or are we not getting credit for it? But regardless, our recycling is abominably low. And the last thing I am concerned about is the grass mowing. I was at home taking a break from my other activities the other day, and I heard somebody making a lot of noise outside, and I found people who said that they were employees of Wendell Lovelace cutting down my purple cone flowers, my trumpet vine, my balloon flowers, other my milkweed and other plants. They also were cutting the tree lawn at my next door neighbor's house. Now they did have one patch of long grass. They don't cut to the border of our property. So there's always a place that's long. They also did the property of the neighbor who lives on the corner across the street. He got a neighbor next door or property. They cut that, and the people across the street from me. Other than my flowers, which were not short, and that one patch of grass, none of that needed cutting. None of it was too long. I spoke with Mr. Smedley, who said that they would remove that from the properties that they charged the city for mowing, but it seems to me that this is fraud. They shouldn't be, for one thing, none of this stuff was too long other than my flowers, which they shouldn't be cutting. And other than that one patch of my neighbor's grass that they should have been cutting. This is not acceptable. And besides that, I saw two down the street that I think they missed, that were actually in connection to houses that are not occupied. But at any rate, I hope that's fixed. But at any rate, if anybody wants to learn to knit and crochet, contact me.
Thank you, Ms. Blovak. Juanita Gowdy.
I want to thank everybody. Congratulations to each and every one that we passed the legislation so you can move forward into the city. And I'm concerned about the voting turnout for this year because nowhere in the world these residents shouldn't have to suffer because the governor want to shut down the voting polls. These residents stay together anyway if they're in the high rise. And I feel like they need to open up the voting polls for the residents in the school. We got to go all the way down to Prospect, to the schools to even vote. Why not Superior? You're going to a school anyway, so it really don't make no sense. I'm very upset. I feel this resident 100%. And something do need to be done because, like I said, even though the polls went up a little bit, people still need to vote. It need to go way up. So they voting is power. If you don't vote, you don't count. And now it's time to count, you know. And it's I mean, our residents deserve to open up the high rise. I mean, it was there anyway. They use all kind of excuses for this, and we still going to be at the same place to vote anyway. Well, I'm going to still be seeing people with this on. So why can't you open the polls to the residents in the high rise? And so these residents can vote. Last year was a problem with people not signing up. They wanted to sign up, but guess what? They didn't have the transportation. And they was not, and then it was confusing because when they went to one of the schools, they got turned around and said that they got to go. People get frustrated. They do not want to go all the way when they can be right there to vote. We shouldn't have to go across town to vote. Bad enough, we have to go out of our city to go to stores, out of our cities to go to a bank, out of our cities to do everything that we need to do in our city. It should never be like this. We have voting rights. And we should have had nailed this long time ago. It shouldn't just be an issue at all. It should be a privilege. And we have rights. So we need to stand up and tell, I'm going to the CEO, tell them to open up Superior. Ain't nothing, I walk through Superior stuff. And Superior school is open. He needs to open up that school and let these people come in and vote. And I'm going to have a meeting with him because it don't make no sense. Because if I want to vote, I should have a right to vote wherever I need to go in my ward. I can see if one voting poll was gone, but all of them, it's strange that all the voting polls is out of my ward.
And I'm a precinct committee person. Never got a notice, never told us anything, never gave us a warning. And a lot of people do not go online and look up something that they already know that they're supposed to do anyway. Vote counts. And they shouldn't have to beg to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gowdy. Ernest Smith.
I agree with every word about the voting polls. Mr. President, my fellow colleagues, Mr. Mayor, members of the administration, our great clerks. Most importantly, I want to thank you, our residents and neighbors, for joining us tonight to check on your health interest, rights, and needs. I'll be brief if you don't mind. I'd like to take a page out of my colleague's book, and I'd like to rise to speak directly to the people of East Cleveland, if you don't mind. Earlier tonight, as you heard, and it's there, right? There was a recall petition pulled on me. As you all know, I call it politics. Brother Ernie Harris told me years ago, it's a very dirty game. So tonight, I've been relatively quiet. A lot of people know me, and a lot of people know how I fight hard for the people. I've been relatively quiet these past 2.5 years, trying to transition certain situations quietly, trying to just do my best to serve the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people. Try to do my best to work with members of the administration, but every time you work with members of the administration, you have some members of the community act like you're not supposed to talk to members of the administration, and it's just ridiculous. We all know in this politic game, there's plans. Speaking of elections, you know, we all see it year in, year out. People they act a certain way after they lose certain elections, and certain things don't go their way. They make lies up. They do dirty games. That's why I want to thank, he probably don't want me, but that's why I want to thank an individual like Justin Anderson and Councilwoman Gowdy for apologizing to me in the open meeting for things that were said about me transporting young girls across state lines and all this garbage. I thank them for that, because it's in the political game, but I really thank the people of East Cleveland for not listening to that garbage. But after they apologized, you still have individuals like William Fambro going around passing out lies on me just to get a signature, things of that nature. You guys remember when I first got on council, they tried to say I didn't have license. Now they bring that.
No, let him speak.
They do things like try to tell the people I don't have license. On the recall paper, it said things like I don't have license. I bring my daughter to council meetings. I bring my daughter to council meetings. Yes, I'm going to continue to bring my daughter to council meetings because her mother is sick. I want to pass something around, show you the dirty tactics that these 6 or 7 people are using. You have the paid hitman, Latif Shabazz. You remember when Gary Norton was trying to sell us out and everybody was complaining about the cameraman was only showing the mayor in the back of President Wheeler's head? Well, who was the cameraman? William Fambro. You have Anton Billings, Don Jones, which I'm pretty sure Don Jones is a very nice lady, and I'm pretty sure she don't know the people who's leading her. Instead of having a conversation with me, they following around Anton Billings, a man that assaulted a woman right here in this hallway. Pass the pictures out, please. Also, speaking of dirty tactics, I have 4 statements, and I'm pretty sure I can get more, but I wasn't even trying to get these 4. Of the dirty tactics, you have one person going around telling people that the petition is to keep me in office. You have other people going around, well, let me just pass these around also. These are signed statements from residents of the great city of Ward 3. And what these people are doing, they are not going to the Miss Hatchers or the Miss Odoms. They find the residents who are great people, but are not involved and really don't know what's going on. Oh, you see this pothole in front of your house? Well, with all due respect, potholes, stop me, Otis Mays, if I'm lying. Potholes are not the responsibility of council. Grass cutting, trees. Our responsibility is to represent the people and help out the administration and let them know what they might don't see. Our job is to allocate and appropriate expenditures. This is our job in here. Certain members of the community even get on me about that and try to say that I do too much work out there in the community. Well, I under and understand that my job is here, but I cannot help that I love to help out the community, but don't use that against me or for that matter, any member on this council. If maybe we can't get your grass cut that day, it's only like seven service workers. Maybe the mayor has them, not maybe, the mayor has them busy all day. I have a relationship with the service supervisor, and when he can, I believe the people in this room know that he comes out and does what he can when I ask him to. I asked the people of East Cleveland online, as I'm looking around in this room, I only see a couple of people who I'm really talking to in this room as far as this next statement. Please be careful of the individuals who you let on your porch. That man has cases out on him right now with restraining orders in the city of East Cleveland. And you guys following him around instead of just coming to talk to me. Most of the individuals that's passing around the recall petition don't even live in the Ward 3. It's all a plan from these two individuals.
Wait a minute, I ain't got nothing to do
No. I'm not only talking about just the recall, it's the big, see, we have to look at big picture. Individuals that want to become mayor, that lost their race, and now they do anything. They use the rules to promote negativity. I know you guys see it. I thank you for listening to me. I thank you for hearing me. I will be bringing my daughter, not only because her mother is sick, but because I want her to learn. I want her to learn how to serve the health, interests, rights, and needs of the people, to fight for our land, bread, housing, education, clothing, and peace. I want her to learn and fight for economic, social, and political change. I've been grassroots organizer for the past 14 years. And whether I'm councilman or not, I'm going to be serving the people. Be careful about who you team up with. I'm pretty sure some of you are great people. But do a background check. Find out who is who before you just hop in and attack people. I mean, these people even tricked my aunt to sign the petition. It's a small city, and I am East Cleveland. I get calls all the time. When your family on my porch giving me this garbage, I told him, get off my porch. Period. One of those signatures is an 80-year-old woman. Gladys Walcott's neighbor, a street that we just got paid, and they tricked this great elder into signing the petition on it. So whether I guess we would know in the next 48 hours or whatever, whether they went through. I'm prepared to do what I always do, and that's fight on behalf of the health, interest, rights, and needs of the people. We are opening up a Ward 3 resource center across the street very, very soon in the plaza across the street. Believe me, every day, all I do is work on behalf of the people in East Cleveland. It'll have a free clothing store in there. It'll have a resource drop-off box. I'll be asking, and I'm pretty sure getting volunteers from the great Ward 3 to come in and work in there on behalf of the people. Get to some positivity. I'm glad Art brought up the Love Fest. As most of you know, every year for my birthday, I like to give back. And this year is no different. August 28th, Sunday, we'll be having what we call OPN Day, the end of the summer, East Cleveland Block Party, the 14th annual OPN Back to School celebration, where we have 300 book bags and school supplies, resource tables for the community, vendors, of course, like bouncy houses and game trucks and face paint. We have a CPR trainer coming. We have a petting zoo coming. We'll be signing people up to register to vote. A youth bike race hosted by Brother Art McCoy's son. Also a youth talent show. We'll be having line dancing led by the Duchess of Line Dance right in the middle of Euclid Avenue. It kind of reminds us of the Love Fest. It's not, nothing is the Love Fest, but please come out and bring as many children as you can. And for the ones that don't have children, that's fine. Come out and celebrate with the people. Get to know your neighbors. Get to know your elected officials. We will also be doing the first annual Officer Anthony Joyner Memorial Run. I'll be walking. As most of you know, he ran up and down this street every day while he was alive. So we're gonna meet, and his family is very, very excited. We're gonna meet in front, we're gonna meet in front of City Hall, and some of us are gonna jog or walk, but we're gonna do it. And Brother Anthony Joyner's memory, who was, before he became an officer, he is a member of the city of East Cleveland. He's a resident who wanted to make a difference and became an officer. So, and as you know, he tragically passed away in the car crash on Tears. He was an officer here for many years, but he was a resident first. So again, I want to thank the people of Ward 3 and East Cleveland, whether you sign a petition or not. It's an honor, true honor to serve you. And if you believe in me, let's keep rocking and rolling. If not, that's your right, but you're going to see me anyway. You saw me before when I lost in 2012. Matter of fact, we're all those people that lost in 2012. The ones that was with him, where they at? But I'm still around. So thank you for not believing those lies. Thank you for not believing that R. Kelly garbage talking about I drove to Detroit in one of these old Raggedy City cars that can't even make it to Detroit on the west side. For the people, like I say, mainly maybe online or that would watch this later, because there's not really many in here. But do a background check on me before you just attack me. All this garbage about Councilman Martin sexually plan to get us out the way. You get the vice president out the way, you discredit his name, and you try to recall the mayor, and then that way you take over the city. You go out here to good residents who are not politically involved, and you tell them a bunch of garbage, and you get them to sign your petition. Everyone is not perfect. I'm pretty sure all of us do things that you all are angry at. Hey, I speak for me. Knock on my door, whatever you have to do. Whatever you have to do, but just don't spread those lies and don't listen to those lies. And if you believe me, if you believe in me, I'm asking you to, when those people approach you with this garbage, push them out the way. That's one of the only things I don't like about this generation of East Cleveland. I have a lot of conversations behind closed doors, but when the residents get here, that's why I appreciate Barbara Thomas coming and speaking out. A lot of residents just do not speak out. That's why I appreciate.
All right, wrap it up, Brother Smith. Go to the wrap it up.
That's why I appreciate every resident that stand up for your health interest rights. And they see they don't want you all to hear this from me. They want to keep giving you that garbage. But you all hear me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, I think I need to apologize because I'm assertive. I just have a lot of knowledge and wisdom from doing this for a long, long time. And even in that, I make mistakes, okay? I care about the people. I wouldn't be doing this wrong. I want to say something first about voting. I wish we can get something in Ward 2, but this is the important thing I need to say. 443-3200, Board of Elections. You don't have to go to a polling place to vote anymore. Okay. There's no excuse for people not voting. If you call down there, they'll send you what you need to fill out. It's very brief. You send it back and they'll send you the ballot. Okay. So 443-3200. Okay. When we first started, they didn't have that, but they have it now. So you get your ballot sent to you, they'll send it to your house. Fill it out, you send it back to them, they'll send you the ballot. You fill out the ballot and send it back. Okay. All right. So you don't have to go to the polls any longer. Okay. Some people like to go to the polls, but if we're unable to correct the situation in Ward 2, call 443-3200, tell them that you want a ballot. Okay, they ask you for your information, they'll send it to you. They'll send it to you. All right. I wanted to say that some people you help in this thing is amazing. I've helped some people, and I find out they're out circulating recall petitions on me. And I got to thank the people, because the people said, Martin, they came to my house, we wouldn't sign a petition, okay? Rather, they wouldn't sign a petition because they know me. They know what I'm all about, okay? The ups and downs and all that that comes with it. But I care about the people, and they can't change that. They know me. They know me, the good and the bad, but they know me, okay? So when I got the call, and certain people in this room I know were circulating petitions. Okay, what's the name? I said, what? I helped her a couple of times, but I won't even go there. Okay, but as an aggregate, Gordon Hay, they wouldn't sign. They wouldn't sign. Okay, because I've been out here dealing with things for a long, long time, and they know what I'm all about. So this, I said, all these years I've been doing this, Brandon, I said, that's finally paid off. That when they went out to do that, they couldn't get stood. So I'm all right with that. Metro Parks. We made history here. And I'm proud of the council. We don't always agree, but I'm proud of the council that we did this. So we're going to have a great park. We're going to have a great park. You're going to be able to use the bathroom. You haven't done it in 20 years, right? That's wonderful. Okay. Gordon Hay, Judge Hardy, they stuck with this when we struggling to just keep it going. Give them a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. The Kyle County Land Bank. We're getting ready, and Dennis, you were disappointed. You were about to give up, but democracy does work. Council, it worked. We listened, we dialogued, we went back and forth, and we got the vote. Unanimous. Oh, okay. Now, 120, what's 120 million? 120 million. We're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around. We're going to have the metro parks. We're going to have housing, okay? We're going to get a bank in here. We're going to get a supermarket in here, okay? With the crime, black on black, it's been out there for a long, long time. It's been a mission for me. When I first got started, it took 30 years, okay? We can do it. I don't take it, how do you think I survive? I don't take none of this stuff personally. This is business, okay? You win some, you lose some. And some people would never like me. See that, Martin? He's a trip. He's off the hook. Get rid of him. And the last thing is money. I want to say this. I went up to Shaw High School Monday. Got up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Got myself together. They wanted 100 black kids to welcome the kids back to school.
That's right.
I was there. And we had about 100 kids. Okay, we got good people like Jamaica and our clerk, Tracy. Basically, we don't always agree, but they're decent. They're decent people. Okay, if they want to go out on this trip, on this, they have the right. But I was disappointed in this, and I need to say this. And I want to say this to the people from NOAA. I was in a meeting last week. They would not let me in. They wouldn't let me in. Okay, no. They wouldn't let me in. Okay, but I've been part of the Okay, but you can't. Wait. Okay, so I could have made a big issue. I said, well, they said, well, we don't want you in here. That's what they told me. But yet, they invited me to come to the meeting. I don't know if I'm going to or not. I don't know, because this is the second time they've done me that. Okay, I am a public official. Okay, I have a right to be in most meetings. So whatever. We are at a point now, you see these students. This is
5 minutes.
The fourth year. Wrap it up. And see how they tell me about my time and all this. I didn't say anything. Okay. If we turn this around, starting with the metro parks, starting with the Kyle County Land Bank, Dennis Roberts, thank you. Starting with all the things that we're doing, we're heading in the right direction. Will we make mistakes? Yes. But we're heading in the right direction. So it's not for me to beat up on Green or beat up on Grohovia. I can't change them, but I can change how I react. I keep myself together. I prayed a lot of times before I come in this. Go down. But I think this is a unique city that we're going to turn this around. I suggest that you vote. Okay, if you live in Ward 2 and you have a problem, call 443-3200. They'll send a ballot to you. Okay, you can even go down to the Board of Elections and vote. So there's no excuses. No excuses. So let it be written, so let it be told. You can be okay. I spoke. Right? I will accept the motion to adjourn the meeting. Second, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Yeah. Come on. I know you're busy.